Welcome, my name is Thomas Lefford. I'm going to go through this video talking about the PIN number situation that I hear a lot on my site about in this brief video. I'm using a free site to show you the example of the PIN number that you must have going to a free site versus a tax professional. Tax professionals can use a different PIN number every year because that's the purpose of going to a professional. We don't have restrictions like that. But using free consumer sites, whatever PIN number you use that year, regardless of what site you use, that PIN number must be the same. It must match. And that's the problem with using free consumer sites and you're not the person that's doing your own return. Whoever done your own return should have given you the PIN number so you can remember what it was or write it down somewhere safely so you can use it again and again as long as you're using free online sites, because that number must be the same. It doesn't matter when you go to a tax professional because our professional software doesn't have those restrictions. So when it comes to this free site I'm using as an example, it says e-file your federal return recommended. Of course we are. We hit save and continue. And then it talks about we need information on your 2018 to verify who you are. If you didn't file a tax return for 2018 or you never filed your tax return at all, then you're going to click no. And then it's going to hit save and continue. Then here we're going to have consent. We're going to have the date of birth. We're going to have the PIN number that you decide to make up so you can use something you hopefully you won't remember. Like when I first had to do a PIN number, I used my zip code because I know I won't forget my zip code. And then my date of birth. And then we hit save and continue. And then from here, we're going to skip this section and go to continue. And then from here, we will put this code in. We will e-file your number. That's the basic PIN number that we must have on all returns. But when it comes to identity theft PIN numbers, that's the number that you have gotten because you had notified the IRS that you've been affected by identity theft. They gave you some instructions to follow. If you follow those instructions, then they assign you an identity theft PIN number that they send you a new PIN number out every year, which is a 6-digit number that they send to the address they have on file. And so that PIN number goes on a separate place on the return based on what type of software you're using. And so in this example here, based on using this software, we would go here and we will put the PIN number in here, and they ask you about this information. You say yes to that. Then you put the 6-digit PIN number right here. Whatever's on the letter, we'll go right here to save and continue. So those are two different PIN numbers we're talking about. The identity theft PIN number is one that's assigned by the IRS based on the fact that you had some identity theft issues concerning your tax return. You notified them about it. They gave you instructions in the form of a phone call or a letter on what to do to help facilitate your claim of identity theft. And then if you followed up on that, then they assigned you an identity theft PIN number every year that they mail to your home in time for you to file your tax return with. And so it's rare cases where people who have never filed a return have been affected by identity theft, but since you haven't filed a return, you don't know you've been affected by identity theft. And so if the IRS look to see and come up to their own conclusion that this person may have been affected by identity theft, then we're going to associate a PIN number with it. So when they do file, they must have a PIN number with it. But the problem is you never filed one before for whatever reason, but someone's been filing all your information on your behalf illegally, will be the problem. But if that's not the case, where it's saying you need an identity theft PIN number on the return, then the PIN number they're talking about is the simple PIN number that we use to file all tax returns with, which is a 5-digit PIN number that either A, you use a free site for, where you made up your own PIN number, you wrote it down, you memorized it, and you use that same PIN number every year that you use a free site for, or B, if you went to a tax professional, every year we use a PIN number, which may change or may not, depends on who you're going to and what they decide to do as far as the PIN number situation. So that's the breakdown of what's going on with the identity theft PIN number versus the PIN number. There's a basic PIN number that we use to sign our returns with. Then we have the identity theft PIN number that was given to you by the IRS based on a claim of identity theft. And that's hopefully can give you more clarity on what's going on when it comes to filing your tax return and they asking for a PIN number. That's the PIN number that they're talking about. Hopefully this is more helpful to you guys who are going through issues with PIN numbers, because we have a basic PIN number that we use to sign the tax return with, and then we have an identity theft PIN number which is assigned to you based on, for the most part, you claiming you've been affected by identity theft and you filled out certain paperwork and you've done the things they told you to do, and now they assigned you a PIN number that they mail to you every year, which is a 6-digit number that's going to be on the letter. And so hopefully this is more helpful to you. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this is more helpful to you guys who are struggling with going through PIN number situations. I'd like to know if this updated video will help. And have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.